Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Tuesday evening. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live. So today we are talking all things, whatever you guys want, ultra running, anything like that, trail running, races. We talk about video editing, talk about whatever you want, trips. Now people we're flying places now. I'm about to go to Western States. So this is a listener-supported show. We go where you want to go. So you ask the questions. Go ahead and shout out in the comments where you're watching from. And we'll roll a little intro video, get a few more people here, and I'll be right back. All right, what's up? We got barking spiders running in the house tonight. First question. Hey Ryan, when's the race video coming? Very soon. Talk about that more in a second. Tim Watson's here. Get pumped. Aaron Townsend is here from Victoria, Texas. What's up, Aaron? Christy Wiley's here. Hey everyone. Justin Turnbow's here. Good evening, everyone from Tulsa, Oklahoma. What's up? Cody Robinson is here from Salt Lake City, Utah. Sydney, Australia. That's where Tim's from. David Sachs, hello from upstate New York. How's it going, everyone? Tony Jensen is here from Kaysen, Minnesota. I don't know how you'd say that. Josie's here. What's up? Barking Spiders Running says watching the Kettle Moraine 100 on the big screen. I know that race just went off this past weekend, and I know there was a live stream. I didn't get to catch it though. But yeah, looked like they had a good race. Aaron Townsend said Deacon's podcast was a great recommendation. John Toll is a great guest. Thin Red Line is full of amazing cinematography. Yeah, that's awesome. Glad you checked out that podcast, Aaron. That's awesome. Yeah, that was, I think, was that last week maybe? We're talking about what podcasts I actually listen to, and the Team Deacons podcast is one of my favorite podcasts, and it's Roger and James Deakins, and if you don't know who Roger Deakins is, you should look him up on IMDb. I'm sure you've seen some of his movies. Amazing cinematographer. But yeah, they have a really, really good podcast where they talk to all sorts of crazy big people in the industry. Tony Jensen says that was a brutal race, low finisher rate. Was that Kettle Moraine? Did that have a low finisher rate this year? Interesting. I didn't even know. James is here. What's up? Good evening from New Jersey. All right, so everyone, we've got less than a week before I'm headed out to California, which I'm very excited about. Gonna, as you guys know, if you've been watching this show for a while or following my YouTube channel, be pacing for a little bit. I'm not sure how long, and then also crewing for the whole race for my friend John, who crewed and paced me at the Cruel Jewel 100. So very excited for that. Heading out on Tuesday of next week, and I have so much to do to get ready for that. It's just been, this past couple of weeks have just been kind of crazy. After Cruel Jewel, just taking a really, really long time to recover, much longer than any of my other races. So, which I guess, it's looking back on it, it's okay, makes sense. Should have anticipated that. But my past hundreds, it's been a lot closer to 2 weeks to 3 weeks before, 2 weeks before I can start running again, 3 weeks before I actually start feeling totally back to normal, with the rest of everything that your body and mind go through, and mentally coming back around, like hungry to like go after things again. And this one is it just took longer, to be honest with you. And I mean, it's because it was a much harder race, and longer too, by hours longer than any of the races I've ever done. Bagel Bandits here from sweaty Texas. Dallin Ricks is here from Lubbock, Texas. What's up? Tony Jensen says kettle was super hot. Yeah, this weekend was crazy hot. I didn't even think about that because it's farther north than me, so I didn't know if it was about the same or hotter. Adam M's here from New Zealand. I guess that's what that is. NZ. Good evening from Central Ohio. Rick's here. Davs is here from Santa Cruz, California. Cody Robinson's here. What are your temps like out there in Texas? Yeah, it's really hot like everywhere. Today here was like kind of a cooler day. I think we only got up to like 85. Wasn't too bad. But this weekend was really hot, and that really affected running. But there was a race. A couple of my friends did Hawthorne Half Day, which is a 12-hour race down in like Terre Haute, Indiana. And people still ran like 50, 60 miles over 12 hours at that race. So that was pretty good. Sam is here. Hey guys, I have my first mountain race this weekend, going up one mountain, hitting a ridge trail and summiting another one. Any beginner tips? Well, I wouldn't consider myself a mountain runner, but I have done some mountain races. And as far as like tips, like if you're pretty experienced in the mountains, depending on the distance, like if you're experienced in the mountains and you're experienced at the distance, like go for it. But if you're a beginner, like I would say just kind of like take the uphills, just like sort of a little bit easy. You can, burn out pretty fast, especially if it's like a couple 1,000-foot climb. Like you might be going for like an hour uphill. And then just, on your first time, just like be kind of cautious on the downhills, because especially if you're going down a mountain, like 2,000-3,000 feet or something, like that's going to take a long time to run down that too, and that's where you see a lot of people like blow up their quads. So yeah, and also depending on elevation, depends on if you've acclimated, how do you say that? Not sure. But yeah, good luck, Sam. 105 in Utah. Jeez. Yeah, it looks like it's hot everywhere. Laura's here from Kansas City. What's up? Joviat's here from Utah. 107 today. Jeez. Rick is here. Anyone in the chat headed to Mohican 100 this weekend? Good question. If you're headed to the Mohican, hit Rick up. Yeah, this weekend, Mohican 100, I wish I was doing that race again. Maybe not this year. Like, it's just too close to Cruel Jewel. But yeah, I will eventually do that race again because I have some unfinished business there. Made it to mile 82, and then could not continue due to what I would later find out about 8 weeks later was torn cartilage. But because of my insurance, I couldn't get an MRI until I did like 6 weeks of physical therapy, which is just a ridiculous system to put someone through who is injured, obviously injured, can't hardly walk, can't run. Go do 6 weeks of physical therapy before we pay for your MRI. So anyway, yeah, I can't wait to get back there someday. But yeah, like I said, headed out in a week to Western States, and this is going to be I mean, this is going to be a pretty special one. I know that they're doing a live stream the whole time. Like I won't be able to watch it because most of the time, like from what I remember, like cell coverage is not that great out there in the mountains. And a lot of the aid stations, it's not super great either. But it will be interesting if there is, places that do have good coverage to be able to like kind of tune in and like see. Because that was the other thing that the Ultra Sign Up. I can't remember if it was Ultra Sign Up or another website that was like updating when people cross the timing mats. But that was also like kind of slow, which is really surprising for like the biggest, definitely the biggest like hyped event in the US. Probably ranks up there in the world as far as the biggest hyped ultra marathon. But yeah, I'm glad to see that they actually have some live streaming this year. It's gonna be really cool. So let's see here. What else we got? Justin says, so excited heading to the Leadville Marathon this weekend. Saturday, then Garden of the Gods 10 miler on Sunday, getting out of the humidity. Praise God. Nice. Yeah, that Leadville Marathon, that'll be tough though. Especially if you're not used to elevation or altitude. I always say elevation a lot of times when the correct term is actually probably altitude. Or maybe they're interchangeable. I don't know. But I know it's, like once you get up there out to Leadville, 10,000 feet, I mean, that messes with your body. Like from my experience and from most of what I've read, like you don't really see much, even if you're coming from sea level, you don't really see much until you start getting to like 6,000 or 7,000 feet, like where it really affects a whole lot. But then it just like, the effects start kind of like piling on at that point. And then once you get up past 10,000 and up, that's where you start like seeing some like real, like physical limitations presented, if you're not used to, that type of air. So, and I definitely experienced that a lot. But yeah, like going out to Western states, I mean, I know that, it starts at, I think the start line is at somewhere like 6 or 7. I don't know. Someone probably knows right now. You're probably looking at the elevation chart. Actually, I'll see if I can find it. But it starts. It's not nearly as bad as like Leadville or something like that. Oh gosh, it just took me to the Wikipedia page. I think it's WS100. Yeah, or WSER.org is the website. Let's see if I'll pull this up for you guys. See if it works. There we go. So I'm looking for the vertical profile, course, aid stations, maps. It's not going to be maps, is it? There it is. Okay. So yeah, it starts at like 6, maybe 6,200, and it goes up to like almost 9,000 feet. I'll blow that up a little bit for you guys. So even that is not much. Like when I was walking around like at the start line, I didn't notice any like ill effects of the altitude. And then like I never actually climbed up to this top peak up here. But yeah, from the start line, we went over to Duncan Canyon, and then Dusty Corners, and then Michigan Bluff. And Michigan Bluff was at like 35,000 feet or something like that. So even like that, like once you start getting like down into that part of the race, there's like almost no effects of altitude like on your body at that point. If you're from sea level, I think you'll be fine. As far as what I know, as far as what I know, as far as what I've like researched and read, and my actual experiences out there. But yeah, Leadville, 10,000 feet. That's crazy. You'll have some pretty big effects from the altitude there. Cody says, what's your plan for Western States? I heard you mentioning it earlier. Yeah, my plan is that I'm going out to crew my buddy John and then pace him for some section. I'm not exactly sure. There's a couple of us that are going to be pacing. So I think there's a couple sections that are like 10 to 13 miles. As long as he makes it into, so like Michigan Bluff is at 56 miles or so. Let me see here. Let's pull up that thing again. So yeah, here we go. Michigan Bluff is at 55.7, and you can take a pacer there, but not until after 8 p.m. So, and the cutoff is, the cutoff for that section is like 8:50. So unless you're back of the pack, you're not picking up a pacer at Michigan Bluff, but you can pick up a pacer at Forest Hill, which is 62. And that's where most people pick up their pacers. So then anywhere from 62 to the end, I could run a section or two. I could run the whole thing if no one else that's going can actually pace, because I know some people are dealing with injuries. So we'll see. But I'm kind of expecting somewhere around like 15 miles, maybe. One or two of these sections probably. And then hopefully John will be finishing sub 24 hours. So we'll be back. We'll be at the high school at like 5 a.m. No, is that right? Yeah, 5 a.m. Yeah, before 5 a.m. So that's the plan. And just kind of like doing whatever, as a crew, you're just kind of, it's fun, but it's also like, it's a lot of kind of waiting around. And then once your runner shows up, it's a lot of like hustling for maybe like 5 minutes or something to get them what they need and then get them out. So especially Western States is a lot of driving. It doesn't look like when you're like the actual point to point of the start to the finish, it's actually not that far, especially traveling by highway. It's really not that bad of a drive, like 40 minutes maybe or something, maybe less than that. But actually to get to these aid stations, it takes forever because you're driving on mountain roads and it can get pretty dicey, like getting to some of these aid stations out there, which is funny because like you go to these aid stations and it's like a city is there, like hundreds of people have shown up at some of these aid stations and you're like, oh my gosh, like we just drove this like super sketchy like mountain road to get here and everyone else did too. So yeah, it's like you send him off. John just said not happening, but I think he was talking about picking up a pacer at Michigan Bluff. Yeah, definitely not happening. Could be, and if you need it, someone will be ready. But yeah, hopefully not happening. So yeah, it's just kind of like driving to the aid station, and Western States is kind of interesting because you kind of have to pick, since the trail kind of goes like back and forth, like across the river. You kind of have to pick if you're going on like the north side or the south side of the river, because it's like impossible to hit all the crewed aid stations unless you have two crews, just based off of the pace of your runner. And how far of a drive it is to get like from one side to the other. So you kind of have to pick and choose, and we'll plan all that out, like while we're there, like getting ready for the race. But yeah, you drive to the aid station, you set up your spot, and then you sit there and wait. And, your runner comes in and you get them what they need, get them out, and then pack up and drive to the next one. That's the game. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's see. Christy says, I'm looking forward to see how Sally McRae does at Badwater next month. Yeah. That's going to be cool to see her go back. And I know that she, I think she DNF'd a couple years ago, or either she finished, but it was a finish that she wasn't happy with. But it'll be cool to see her go back and try to redeem herself there. That does, like, years ago, I would never run that race. But over the years, I've kind of got a little more, I've kind of liked it a little bit more. Just kind of the, I don't know, like the mystique of it. But it's still, it's a brutal race. Like, it's a road race. Like, it's something that I probably never, ever do. Not only is it super hard to get into, I probably wouldn't even try, because I'm not a huge fan of races that are that long on the roads. You'll see in the Cruel Jewel video that is basically, it's pretty much done. There's a section, there's like a 5-mile road section that we hit from mile 30 to 35 and then 70 to 75, because the race is basically an out and back. And that road section just both times just completely demoralized me, especially the second time, because it was in the middle of the day, so the hot sun on you, and it was just like my feet were killing me. But yeah, it was not a fun section. So I could not imagine doing the Badwater 135, because that just, nope, no way. Bagel Bandit says, I once saw an ad for a 5K saying, all you need to bring is your shoes. Turns out it was put on, oh gosh. But yeah, what's your craziest race you've ever ran? Never run one of those. I don't know. I don't have any crazy races that could match that. I'm sorry, man. Justin says, Badwater is going to be crazy this year. Sally is going to do awesome. I hope so. I really do. She's such a racer, though, that I think she kind of puts herself on the line every single time. And it's, yeah, I think sometimes, what do I have to say? She's a world-class athlete, and I'm not. But I just hope she can put together a smart race this time. Because, yeah, she works incredibly hard. She's very gifted, obviously. So you put those two things together, and I just hope I hope that she can put together a good race. Hold back at the beginning, get to that point where it's time to go, and then turn it on. Yeah, John says 1 week from today we'll be out there. So excited to just get out there and super appreciate everything. Yeah, definitely, man. I'm super excited. 1 week from right now, we'll be hanging out at the Airbnb. Yeah, out there in the mountains. Super excited. Bagel Bandit says no costumes while running. Haha, no. No, I've never done one of those costume races. Yeah. Nope. But yeah. So, as I mentioned, the Cruel Jewel video is just about done. Actually, today, actually right now, my computer's sitting in front of me right now, but I was working over there at the desk, and then had to basically unplug and set up here and start going with this live stream. But it's pretty much done. I just need to finesse some of the edits a little bit more, and then put all the graphic stuff on the screen, text saying where we are, what mile is this, blah blah blah. Work on a few more things, the opening title splash screen is a little bit, it's not exactly where I want it, so I need to do a little bit more work on that. And then I'm trying to decide And it'd be cool if YouTube had like a poll or something, but I don't think there's a way to do that. I'm trying to decide on how much like narrating to put on top of it, and that'll go like really fast. But either doing something like that, like putting a little bit more effort into like the main video, or like creating a second video, which is the same thing, but just like with commentary over it. And I've actually seen that done before, and it's been done really well. I think that could be something that could be really cool. Like put out like the regular video, and then a week or two later put out like an extended version with with commentary. Sorry, my voice is like really hoarse. Allergies. I'm not sick. It's just been crazy for like a week. I haven't had a voice, and that's really unfortunate when you're supposed to sing at church too, because that was really hard. So yeah, not sick. Don't worry, anybody that's about to be living in a house in California with me. Aaron says, after the release, you need to do a Tuesday night watch party with director commentary. That could be cool too. That could be really cool. Justin says, director's cut. Yeah, that's kind of like what I was thinking, like, or almost something like, if anybody remembers DVDs, which hopefully a lot of people still remember DVDs, but you always had the, like you had the regular version, and then you had the version with commentary. I think that could be kind of cool. So we'll see how that does. Like I haven't, like now that I'm like kind of like speaking this out loud, I'm remembering, Ginger Runner does something sort of similar, not the same thing that I'm thinking about doing, but, like sometimes when he gets like contracted to do a video for whoever, like I think his most recent one was the Wonderland FKT attempt with like a couple people, but he was contracted, it seems like he was contracted to do a video for a brand. They put it up on their YouTube channel, and then he put like an extended version on his, which is kind of an interesting idea. So that could be kind of cool. Matt Simpson says, hey, Ryan, ran 15 miles at Chain of Lakes yesterday. There were a few trees down, and the elevation was sneaky. Yeah, definitely an interesting trail. We'll be going back to familiarize with the trail markers. Yeah, that's cool, man. It is kind of sneaky because like it's really not much when you look at per mile. Like how much vertical gain you're getting, like 30 feet per mile or something like that. But like you said, like it's like a really like a steep, like 20-foot climb or something like that, or 30 or something like that. So yeah. And then it's really runnable too, which can get you in trouble if you're not in shape, you're not like paying attention to like how quick you're running. Justin says, how do you deal with black toenails? You just let them work themselves out. If you're asking how to prevent them, the biggest thing to do would be to just make sure that your toes have enough space in your shoes. From my experience, when I ever get them, and I've only had a few, but one time I got them real bad, and it was because I actually individually taped my two big toes and the toe next to them, whatever toe that's called, second toe, fourth toe, whatever order that goes in. But I've done that for a lot of races. I've taped my toes, but one time I just got them like too tight. And, yeah, I got a couple black toenails. I don't tape my toes anymore. I just use Exoskin socks. like the toe socks, which are great. Not affiliated with them at all. I just use them. They're expensive though. They're like 30 or $35 for a pair of socks, but they work. They work really well. Like, in fact, my last 300 milers, I've just worn a pair of Exoskin socks and the same shoes the entire time. I take that back. I have to correct myself. At No Business, I did change socks at mile 25, but it was completely unnecessary. Like, it was completely unnecessary because in like the first 25 miles of No Business going, I think we went counterclockwise last year. You go through a lot of water crossings in like those first 20, 25 miles. And so I was like thinking I was smart. And so I was like, I'm going to change my socks like at this first drop bag. And so I get there and I knew that like there's water crossings like throughout the race, but I'd also heard from somebody that they were like, most of them were packed in there at the beginning. So I changed my socks, spent like, 5 minutes, whatever it takes to change your socks. And then within a quarter of a mile of leaving that aid station, there was another water crossing. It was just like totally unnecessary. But if you have like sand or dirt in your shoes and your socks or something, then that's really good to change them out. Or if you're in a situation where it's like you're in a race and there's not going to be a lot of water, then changing your socks after water might be beneficial. It was just specifically that race. Didn't matter. But my other two most recent. So basically my last three. I've just used the same pair of socks and one pair of shoes like the whole time. Sorry, I just heard something outside. It might have been a firework or something else. I don't know. Matt Simpson says, I definitely am feeling that today. Was running too fast downhill and aggravated an old knee injury. Yeah. So I was following up to your comment about Chain of Lakes. Yeah. Old knee injuries can come back to bite you. Josh says, race video with an extended director's cut video later on would be cool. Nice. I think I might do that. Depends what I actually feel about the finished product. If I feel like it needs some explanation over top or something like that, maybe I will. Justin says, Exoskin are the best. Love their socks, especially when your feet are going to get wet. Rocky, they worked awesome. Nice. Yeah, there's something about that material that they use in the toe portion, and then it's also in the heel. I don't know what it is, but it's just like something about it, like like the way it interacts with your skin just really, really works. Bagel Bandit says, YouTube does do polls, and I like the Tuesday night director's cut idea. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I know YouTube does do polls. You can post them on like through your community tab or something. It would be really cool if YouTube could do live polls, which is kind of what I was thinking about, letting all you guys vote right here and right now. So, no, Dallin, sorry, I don't have the buckle cam hooked up. And Justin says, watch party. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we can do something like a premiere. I've never done a premiere on my channel. You guys know what those are? It's like YouTube has this function that it's like scheduling a video, but when it goes live, it just starts playing like a live TV show. Like for those of us that remember live TV, it wasn't that long ago, but like my kids have no concept of what that is. everything is Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus, whatever, to them right now. Like they don't know what we're talking about when we tell them that, yeah, you had to open the TV guide and you had to like know that your show was coming on at 8:00 and then sit there and wait for it. And yeah, there was commercial breaks. So that's when you got up to go get more food or go to the bathroom. But yeah, so it's basically like that. Like you schedule, I forgot what I was talking about. You schedule your YouTube premiere video and then it plays it live for everybody. And then everyone watches it like at the same time and you can comment and jump in and do stuff. So might do something like that. That'd be cool. CK Hiker says, looking forward to any or all forms of the video. Nice. Well, thanks guys. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just about done. And I'm just like, I'm really excited. Like, I know that it's taken a while. But especially like with these race videos, like I just want to put in some extra time and effort into them. And it's been really hard because it means that I haven't been able to put out like the regular amount of videos. Like I said, I've got just like a stack of stuff I need to review, shoes, other gear. And then like the vlogs have basically just slowed down over the last 2-3 weeks, but just been really putting in all my like YouTube time into this Cruel Jewel video. And it'll be about 40 minutes. I think I'll have it about 40 minutes or so, maybe 35. So it'll be a, pretty chunky video, pretty big one. So yeah. And then after that, like I'll get it out this week. I'll say that for sure. And then after that, maybe another video or two before Western States. And then I don't know, like I'll take my laptop out there. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to put together a video or something while I'm out there, depending on Wi-Fi. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But then after Western States, it should be kind of like back to regularly scheduled programming, a couple videos a week. And I'm really, really excited to get kind of back into the groove with that. Yeah, I'm excited. Like I'm excited to show you guys, the Cruel Jewel video. It's going to be awesome. Oh, what's up? Justin says to help, $20 super chat to help on the permanent buckle cam. Oh my gosh. Need to take care of that now. Thank you so much, Justin. That is awesome. Oh man. Yeah, we'll see. How could I wonder if I could install something like that is permanent. Because what I was doing was setting up just like a tripod, like right out of view. Yeah, we'll look into that, Justin. Thank you. Laura says, Kerry Ward did his Cocodona as a premiere and with live chat. Nice. Kerry, yeah, I haven't been able to see his Cocodona video, but I have watched some of his older ones. And yeah, I like his videos. Bagel Bandit says, yeah, back when you had to schedule your VCR to record if you weren't going to be able to watch it. Yeah, absolutely. And then like accidentally don't record over what you previously recorded. We had that happen a lot in our house. And then like TiVo came out. We never had one of those. But yeah, now it's all just like whenever you want it, it's available. Turn it on, stream it. So yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys are crazy. Dallin Ricks just pitched in $10 for the permanent buckle cam. Oh my gosh. You guys are awesome. Yeah. Okay. I'll see what I can do, guys. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, like I was saying, like just really excited to get back to kind of that regular schedule, vlogging my runs, especially after Western States. Like once I start getting into that sort of like the mindset for the next race, because after a big race that you've been working towards, and Cruel Jewel was really like, it was really like almost 2 years of working towards this race. It wasn't just like I signed up and then a couple months later did it. I signed up for that race in 2019, the first time, and really put pretty good effort into training for it for 4 months, 3 or 4 months in the winter of 2019 into 2020, and then it got canceled. But it was still on my mind. And then jumped into kind of like things got really weird for probably everybody last summer, and training was kind of hit or miss. I was stuck with my run streak, which I'm still like amazed that I was able to do that. Still proud of that. Almost, it was like, I think it was like 298 days. Mostly, and a lot of that was made possible by everything getting shut down. Like working from home just made running easier. And so, very fortunate in that. But, things just got confusing and weird over the summer, and then jumped into No Business 100. But throughout that whole time, like I was, Cruel Jewel was still on my mind. And then when it came time to sign up for it again for the 2021 version, went ahead and did that. But yeah, it was like, so it was really like definitely a year and a half, but almost 2 years of thinking about that race. So yeah, the last couple weeks have been just kind of weird because that goal is not there anymore. That thing that you've been kind of like working towards and preparing your body and your mind for is just, you did it and it's over. So getting used to that like new reality, and then also just like taking time for yourself is really important after races. So did some of that. But then, yeah, just really excited to get back into like the regular flow. Rick says that Cocodona video is 7.5 hours long. What? Carrie's video is 7.5 hours long? Oh my gosh. Can't imagine how long that upload took. Yeah, especially if that was, I don't think there's any way you could do that in 4K. Like that's probably 1080, but still, that's a big video. What's up, Adam? Says, hey. Brian Steiberg runs too much, says, I ran the 50K at Yankee Springs a week and a half ago, carried the GoPro, still haven't even started editing. Yeah. I mean, it just, there is something about, there is some value in taking some downtime after a race like that. And for 99.9% of people that upload to YouTube, it's not their full-time job. For those that it is, yeah, it's reasonable to turn around videos really quickly. If YouTube's your full-time job. And that's awesome if people are in that position. But for most of us, it's like you took vacation to do this race. You were gone from your family, and then you come back and you're trying to like reconnect with them. You're back to work. You've got like all the responsibilities that you kind of like you were kind of like taking a break from for however long you were traveling. You're back to that. You're also trying to like heal your body. I mean, my feet are still like, they're finally like getting like pretty much back to normal. like I haven't had pain in my feet for a week or so, maybe a week and a half, but just like the appearance of them, that's as far as I'll go. It's like it's almost back to normal, and we're like a month out. So this race was really, really tough on my body, and a lot of it had to do with the time I was out there. 39 hours was a long time. The conditions, the terrain, like just how much up and down there was, really put a beating on my feet. And then it wasn't like rainy or even really that hot and muggy, but during the days it was still like, I mean, it was decently hot. Like it was in the high 70s, and a little humid. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. But yeah, Brian, yeah, you got to take a little bit of downtime before you start editing. Matt Simpson says, when are you going to do your Prophetstown 50 miler again? Probably, if I do that again, it'll probably be a couple weeks before the Indiana Trail 100. And that's in October. So maybe like early September. I don't know. We'll see. Prophetstown's a really good place to train for the Indiana Trail 100. Adam says, how do you decide what makes a final cut in your race videos? I imagine you have heaps of footage to go through. Yeah, and that's true. And especially this time, like John filmed a bunch on his GoPro, so I was going through some of that too. But it's really like video editing. It at the beginning is really hard because I think most of video editing is based on your instincts, and you listen to any of the pros out there that do it, like people editing for, big Hollywood videos. And that's what they'll say, is that it's all instinct. Like you feel it, like when it has to cut, what shot to choose. Like there is no rhyme or reason. It's just 100% instinct. It's what you're feeling. But in order to get there, you have to put like hundreds of hours, thousands of hours into editing before that you can actually do that. And so, as a beginner, like what you're trying to do is, you're trying to like tell a story. But then you're also trying to keep the viewer interested. And the viewer is not you. And that's the hardest thing to accept, as a beginner editor, is that unless you're making the video for you, and if you are, like, great, that like if you're making it to be like the equivalent of a photo album for yourself to go back to later, then don't listen to any of this. But if you're making a video that you hope other people will enjoy watching, including like family, because like they're going to get bored too, during certain parts, but like strangers, like critics, strangers are your biggest critics. And so like, if you're trying to keep strangers like interested, like you have to be kind of like brutal with your edits, and you have to really you have to be like really harsh on like what stays, what goes, and a lot of things get left out. And with some of with this race video for Cruel Jewel that I'm doing, I'm not editing it for the same audience that's going to watch a Logan Paul video or something like that. There's no way, the video would have to be 4 minutes long and have a jump cut every 1.5 seconds. So you have to also kind of know your audience. I think the audience that watches my videos have a longer attention span. They enjoy, seeing more shots of the trail scenery, whatever. They like maybe a longer story. So it's kind of a mix of like knowing your audience, being kind of like brutal with your cuts. Like some of your favorite parts might not translate very well to other people because you have the entire backstory. And that's honestly, like, I think about that all the time when I'm editing videos, is like, oh man, I really want to keep these 2 or 3 shots here in a row, but it's like 20 seconds long, and I know what I felt like in that moment. And so to me, it means something. But when somebody else is watching it that wasn't in that moment, watches that, it's just like super boring 20 seconds, you know? So it's like, you kind of have to, if your intent is for other people to like it, it's tough. It's really tough. You just kind of got to be harsh. You got to keep things moving. You know, like and then again, like once you get to a certain point, you will start to feel it more. And it's less about the math of putting things together, and it's more about just like what it makes you feel like when you watch it. And so like, I feel like, you know, for YouTube, as far as like people on YouTube go, like I feel like I kind of am getting that feeling of being able to edit based off of feel. Like, I mean, you put me like editing like you know, a big budget movie in LA or something, and I would drown. But editing my own YouTube content, I feel like I'm starting to get to that point where I can feel the edits. So it just takes time. And I think I've uploaded like 200 and some videos, 250 videos or something. So it just takes time. That was a really long answer. So, but it's something I care about, and it's, yeah. What's up? Miguel's here a little late from super hot Sarasota Springs, Utah. Justin says, do you do all your videos in 4K? Good question. And something that I don't know if I don't know how I'm going to do this moving forward. Because I like 4K because when I'm editing it and when I'm watching my videos back on YouTube, I can tell the difference between 4K and 1080. But I think it's like, it's so minimal that it really doesn't matter that much. And I'm really starting to think that like the amount of storage space it takes up and the amount of extra time it does take to edit is not really worth it. So I've gone back and forth. Like I've gone over the years, I've pretty much since I started my channel, everything was in 4K because, I mean, 4K was around like 4 or 5 years ago. And I had a camera that could do it. But over the years, I have gone like 3 or 4 videos in a row that everything was filmed in 1080, edited in 1080, uploaded in 1080, and no one ever said anything. So I don't think it matters. I think the only time it does matter is when you are trying to do things that punch in and out. And I do that with a lot of my stuff. So it's like kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep it up though, because it's kind of a bear to save all that footage. And I've just got stacks of hard drives. Actually, my friend Russell just asked me about this, and I sent him a picture of all my hard drives, and it was like 20 hard drives, and they're all like 4 or 5 terabytes, and they're just stacked up in my closet. And that's like all my footage from the past like 5 years. And I know other people have more than that, you know, and it's just like, it's crazy. Like if you want to save your footage, 4K is crazy. So I'm considering just making sure that the other thing that's kind of interesting is that when you're filming in 4K, you can actually get away with slightly, you can get away with a little bit subpar lighting and other things that you can't get away with as well as in 1080, because you can there's a little bit more information in there that you can color grade with in 4K. So 1080, you have to light a little bit better. All my GoPro footage actually is 2.7K, which is kind of right there in between, and GoPro is the only camera that I have that films in 2.7K. When I put it in 4K, it's just like the footage is just bad, in my opinion. Like GoPro 4K footage looks bad. It's super shaky. It's super like grainy in a bad way. I don't know. It's too crispy and too and not in a good way, in my opinion. I think a softer GoPro image looks better. So I even take on the GoPro settings, sharpness, take it all the way down, put it on low. You'll notice a major improvement in your GoPro footage if you do that. Because all that's doing is reverting back to just pretty much the image that the sensor is capturing. And most cameras, like, you have to look at the manufacturer specs and stuff, but most cameras, when it says like, is it you want more sharpening or less? Like, most of the time what it's doing is adding digital sharpening in real time as it's capturing the footage. And that's almost never better than just capturing what the sensor sees and then adding sharpening later if you need to. So definitely GoPro, it just doesn't have the processor to do it right. And it looks really, I mean, in my opinion, it's super easy to spot, GoPro footage that's in where the sharpness is on high, and it's really hard to color grade. So yeah, there's a tip for you. Anybody that, films on GoPros. Ultra Dad's here. What's up, man? It says, hey, packing for Mohican. So is late. Can't wait to see your video on Cruel Jewel. Yeah, this week, hopefully, man. Shooting for the next day or two. Josh says, quality over quantity, definitely. Nice. Laura is here. Says, your audience is filled with people who spent days watching live streams of Ultras. That is true. If you followed the Cocodona live stream, and if you're planning on tuning into Western States, whatever that looks like this year, yeah, you probably won't mind a 40-minute YouTube video. Brian says, Woodstock is going to happen this year. They made an announcement on their webpage. Nice. It won't be headquartered at Hell Creek Ranch, but somewhere a few miles south. Whoa. That's different. Wow. That's kind of surprising, because I think by September, man, I mean, if in the US, like, if you're not vaccinated now and you're an adult, like, well, okay, I shouldn't say that, because there's a lot of people that cannot get vaccinated. But if you don't have health concerns, anyways, I don't think by September that shouldn't be a too high of a risk, but maybe they're doing it for another reason. But yeah, that'll be really different, because that race, like, there was a lot of things I liked about that race. Almost all of them was the campground and the stage and the live music and all of that. So if they can do that, but somewhere else, that'd be great. But that course was, pretty monotonous and not a whole lot to it. But the race headquarters, like, all the camping and the live music, the stages, all that, the like 30-hour party that they put on, that makes the race. It's awesome. Josh says, nearing my 10-year run streak in October. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, I can't do it with running 100-milers. Like, it's just, I considered it last year, and that's why my streak ended at 298 days. I couldn't go 2 more days to hit 300. It was impossible. Because I also wasn't going to just like record a run around the parking lot at my hotel and consider that a run. Like for me, my streak was 3 miles or more. Anything less than 3, and I wasn't going to count it. So I knew the day after running No Business 100, I was not getting out for a 3-mile run. I don't even know if I could have walked. I probably could have forced myself to walk 3 miles, but it would have taken like 2 hours. But man, kudos to you. 10 years. That's incredible. Matthew says, did you see Kofuzi rocking your shirt in his past couple videos? It's a good look. Awesome. Yeah, I did see one of his videos. Like a lot of these running YouTubers, like I just cannot watch that much of them. Like a lot of people ask all the time, like about Seth and Kofuzi and Ginger Runner and all those guys that are Ginger Runner, I think like he's like a lot of product reviews now. But and I can't catch all those either. But yeah, all those guys that are putting out daily videos, like I'm lucky if I can catch like one a week. 'Cause it's just, yeah, I just can't. But yeah, I did see, and I commented and he responded. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, actually we're over an hour. I was about to say we're getting close to an hour, but we're already over an hour. So I'm going to wrap things up. If you have any last minute burning questions, get them in the chat. But tonight was a good night. We talked about a lot of stuff. You guys got me going on, video, like GoPro settings, which is great. I love talking about that kind of stuff. Cinematography, all sorts of other stuff. So that's cool. But yeah, I cannot guarantee anything about next week. So, cause I don't know what the situation is going to be like. I will be in California. But I have no idea about the internet. So, we will see. I'll be there and I'll be able to like test it maybe in the afternoon, but I'm just going to say right now, probably no live stream next week, because also like I'll be in a house with other people. Like, why would I like shut myself in a room and do a live stream? I don't know. Maybe it's probably not going to happen though. But yeah, we'll see. One last thing from Brian, you have to check Woodstock's webpage. Hell Creek Ranch just doesn't want events there. That makes sense. Yeah. If it's the ranch that actually doesn't want people, just wants to be a campground, supposedly where they're going to have is bigger with more campsites. Well, that'd be good because they did sell out of campsites pretty quickly every year. Actually, the year I did it, I reserved a campsite. And then once I got there, I was like, oh no. Like, because it was like in the overflow campsite area, and it was like half a mile away from the course, and I was hoping that was going to be an aid station, and I was like, forget that. And as soon as I got there and saw it, I just got a hotel, and then just put my drop bag like at the actual drop bag area. Didn't even bother with it, because yeah, it was like not even close to the race course. But if you are one of the people that can get a campsite in the main area, it's awesome. But yeah, next week, that'll be sad because I've been doing these live streams for a year and a half, every single week through, started like it was either February or March of last year. Like right when the shutdown started happening, I was like, you know what? This is going to be something fun that I can do for a couple weeks, because we're only going to be shut down for a couple weeks. You know, that's what I thought. And yeah, we've been keeping it going. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated like with Instagram stories and all that stuff. But before then, the Cruel Jewel video will be out. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for watching, commenting, asking questions. This community is awesome, especially those of you that donated super chats. Any of you that are sporting my merch out there, super cool. Thank you so much. But that's it. I'm going to go, and I will see you guys very soon in some regular YouTube videos, and then probably in 2 weeks live. So it'll be sad to break this streak, but just like any streak, they usually don't last forever, except for Josh. Your 10-year run streak will last forever. It'll keep going. But anyway, yeah, I will see you guys again soon. Thank you all for stopping by. Yeah, don't forget to check out the Cruel Jewel video when I post it. I'll tell you, goal is Thursday, and that's a secret between the few of us that are still watching and myself. That's the goal for myself. So hopefully in 2 days. But with that, thank you. I'll see you again soon. Bye.